Hello everybody. Let's take today's Ask JP question. Deepak Prasad from Nemmara in Palakkad district of Kerala. Deepak, he works in Merchant Navy as a chief officer.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Deepak Prasad. I'm calling from a small town named Nemmara in Palakkad, Kerala. I work as chief officer on board merchant navy ships. I believe that in order to make and nurture our children into well-informed future citizens of a nation, it's important that at least 30 minutes every day is spent at schools where the students discuss and debate regarding topics on the government, their policies, the constitution, rules, laws and regulations, etc., which is unfortunately not been done. On the other hand, the student politics is misguiding and misinforming and also disrupting the day-to-day functioning of our education institutions. All the party student politics are there. This is despite the courts time and again banning them. This is making people like me think twice before sending my kid into a public school. So how can we ensure that student politics is not present in our education institutions?
Thank you, Deepak. There are two parts to Deepak's question. First is, should we have some genuine, sensible civics curriculum in schools, perhaps even in colleges, understanding citizenship, democracy, vote, rights, responsibilities, constitution, the separation of powers, decentralization of power, federalism, some basic understanding. We don't have to be political scholars, but we have to have a basic understanding. That we don't have enough basic understanding is very clear in the country. Let's be truthful. Our understanding of democracy and elections is reduced to vote and shout. With great celebration, we vote. After voting a government or a party to power, from next day onwards, we agitate, we protest, ask them, Murdabad and Istifa de do, resign. That is hardly a democracy. We have to have deeper understanding of what democracy means and our own rights and responsibilities, our tax money, and the services we are reasonably expected to get from the tax money, our vote and the consequences of the vote. Therefore, I am all in favor of a meaningful thing, not another course with marks and grades. Indians have perfected the art of getting marks and grades without any understanding, without letting it get into their hearts and minds. So a meaningful kind of a curriculum so that they actually become effective citizens. I am all in favor. But the second part is the best way to say no to college politics, university politics. Yes, unfortunately, in the colleges and universities, the elections and politics, wherever they are allowed, they have become the mirror images of the dirty, ugly, day-to-day politics of India. Electoral politics, money power, caste, emotions, and in case of political parties, a short-term, temporary individual gains at the cost of the long-term good, making that the sole thing about politics. We're seeing all these ugly things, and of course, corruption is a consequence. Unfortunately, instead of colleges and other institutions showing example of better politics and influencing the politics outside, they're influenced by politics outside, by political parties, the student fronts of the political parties. They behave exactly the same way. The money power, muscle power, the parental power, the pedigree, whose son or daughter you are, and the caste and other divisive impulses, and polarizing the student community. All these have become the norm. The challenge is not to take away politics from colleges, but to bring in the right kind of politics, because true politics is a noble endeavor. So one answer I can suggest, apart from appealing to them and making them realize how politics can be done differently, we also can design the political institutions, like for instance elections and student bodies. Why should you have the same pattern of election as in the Assembly and Lok Sabha? They have failed. For a variety of reasons, they are not working. Supposing you have something like an Australian model, it is ideal for these small bodies, the student body, a Lions Club, a Rotary Club, some other professional organization. It's perfect for them because these are all educated, knowledgeable people, and they can make a measured appreciation or measured assessment of the candidates available to contest, and they can decide who is their first preference, and if first preference does not work out, then who is the next person who would like to see that kind of a thing. Such a system is called alternative voting system. You don't merely vote for a symbol or an individual, but you actually decide out of the 8 candidates or 9 candidates available, who I think is best suited. I put that 1 mark for that. Supposing that candidate is not getting the majority support, then who is my next preferred candidate? Supposing such a system, which is available, let's say in Australia, for instance, alternative voting system, is introduced, your whole approach will change. Instead of basing on caste and even money power untold, sometimes, inducement with money and some other things are happening in colleges. Instead of colleges shaping politics, ugly politics are shaping colleges, and they are emerging as potential candidates and leaders in political parties. That's not the kind of India we want. We want the young Indians to think differently, to genuinely institutionalize democracy. But not having any kind of student politics also may not be a very good idea. I can understand the frustration of parents. Instead of focusing on education and knowledge acquisition and skills and understanding the larger picture, if they're losing time in faction fights, physical fights sometimes, muscle power being used, and they are influenced by the ugliness of politics outside, no parent wants to see that. But I genuinely believe that the true answer is the right kind of politics. Politics as a noble endeavor, by designing models and adapting models that actually make you think differently. I think it's possible. In Kerala and other states, if we persuade the managements and the colleges to go for a different model of elections, I think they will go a long way in reshaping the thinking of politics in the colleges, and hopefully that will also influence the politics outside.